Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Sunflowers. Now, if you remember, I did mention that I found something like 10 or 11 puzzles that I do want to feature. And my plan is to maybe record a few for this week for the main channel, and then quite a few of them for Patreon. I think I mentioned in the previous video that I'm a little bit behind, so thank you for supporting me and your patience, and hopefully this is going to be one of those videos, and thank you for doing so. Now, if you look at the puzzle of the thumbnail and you think, oh, that looks like Van Gogh, it's very much deliberate, where I'm kind of making a reference to a whole bunch of sunflowers in a field, although clearly in the background you can see what looks like a power line or a telephone line, so clearly not historically accurate. Now, today's puzzle, when you take a look at it, it is a fantastic representation of sunflower seeds. And rather than keep you guessing and trying to describe it, let me just put it up on the screen and let's just admire it. Where you can see clearly the sunflower seeds in the middle, the flower itself around the outside, and then what seems to be a stem, probably German whisper lines. But we don't actually have to guess what the rules are. Let's take a look at what it says. So, Sudoku. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. So nothing unusual about that one. German whisper lines, so digits along the green line differ by at least 5. Now the stem is kind of a bit weird in that it's not quite, down the middle as it normally is. But I'm going to assume that this is a German whisper line. So if this is a 2, then essentially the neighbors on the line would have to be 5 or more away, such as 7, 8, or 9. If this happens to be an 8, well, the neighbor to it would have to be 1, 2, or 3, clearly not a 2 in the same column. So that's kind of an excellent demonstration of the German whisper lines. We oscillate between high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back and forth around the 5, but never the 5 itself. Speaking of 5s, Dutch whisper lines, so digits along an orange line differ by at least 4. And unlike German whisper lines, yes, you can do something like a 2 and 4 or more apart would be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Again, the lines are a little bit weird, but I'm kind of making the assumption it's something like this based on the circle. And I don't actually have to oscillate between high and low digits. I could go 9, I could go 5, I could go 1, and throw the entire kind of, oscillation between polarities off. So remember, 5s are allowed, and you can't make assumptions about how it actually oscillates. Then last but not least, we've got the Kropkis. Black Kropki is digits separated by a black dot have a ratio of 2 to 1. So if this cell is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that it is indeed one cell is double the other, essentially 2 to 1 ratio. White digits, on the other hand, digits separated by a white dot, if this is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3, so that they are consecutive. Now, there's no mention here of negative constraints, so I'm going to assume it doesn't apply. So 2 in here with a 4 and 3, clearly consecutive, clearly in a 2 to 1 ratio, no black dot, no white dot, not a problem under today's rules. And that's all we have for today. So as always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Now I kind of notice a bit of a trick here. There's a few things where I'm just I want to investigate it. There's no obvious break-in, I'm going to call that out. But I think we're going to start with the black Kropki dots because that's kind of the most obvious place. So black Kropki dots, quick reminder, they are the powers of 2, such as 1, 2, 4, and 8. There's also 3 and 6. And then lastly, there are digits that cannot be on black Kropki dots because, half of 7 is 3.5, double of 7 is 14, too big to fit in a single cell. If you have 3 cells, as is the case here, that all see one another and they all have to be unique, it has to be from the group of 1, 2, 4, 8 because 3, 6 is only 2 cells, 2 digits. If you are selecting 3 of them, well, it's either 1, 2, 4 or it's 2, 4, 8, and the center digit has to be 2 or 4. And then the remaining digits, I don't know if I want to pencil mark these, have to be from 1, 2, 4, or 8. And notice when you do use 1, 2, and 4, or 2, 4, and 8, both the 2 and 4 are used. So technically, there's essentially like a corner pencil mark in here. I'm not going to write it because it's across boxes and it'll probably throw me off. But speaking of which, now in column 3, this can only be 3, 6. And I know that because without the 2 and 4, I can't have 1, 2. I can't have 4, 8. The only way this is going to work is with 3 and 6. So that's that. Now, the other thing that I noticed when I place a 2 in here is it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work has to do with the German whisper line. So let's do a bit of coloring of the German whisper line. Let's go with purple. Let's go with green. I don't know whether purple is low or high. I just know that it oscillates in polarity. And the key thing here is that these two cells are different in polarity. This cell cannot be a 5 because it's on a black Kropki dot. So it has to be the same polarity given it's consecutive with this cell, and therefore it's green. And when you have polarities that are different across a black Kropki dot, it can only be 3, 6 or 4, 8. Nothing else will do. And I think this is actually looking quite tough. You see, 6 doesn't work, does it? Because that would be 6, that would be 3. If this is consecutive, that's 2. But it's still too close to the 6. And I think that's going to be true even if I reverse it. If I go 6 and 3, that would be 7. That is still too close. So I think this is actually forced to be 4, 8. If it's 4, this would have to be 3, because it can't be 5. If it's 8, that would be 4. This would have to be 9. So this is like entirely forced, even though it may not seem it. Interesting. I'm guessing the other side would be the same as well. Let's use a bunch of different colors. What have I got that is not blue and red? It'll be yellow and orange. Not a great combo. I was trying to avoid using the orange because I'm not sure it's going to be visible under the Dutch whisper line. I'm going to give it a go. So yeah, this is going to be yellow. Again, if this is 6 and this is 3, 2 is too close. So this has to be 4, 8. And I guess the same deduction, if that's 4, this would have to be 3 because it can't be 5. And if this is 8, because that's 4, this would have to be 9 to make the Dutch whisper line work. Now notice this is not, this 4, 8 and this 4, 8 removes 4, 8 from in here, which makes this highly likely that it's ascending in this direction. It's either going to be 1, 2, 4 or 2, 4, 8. 1, 2, 4. So yeah, this can't be 1, 2, and this can't be 1, 2 as a result. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I couldn't have done 2, 4 yet, or 1, 2, yes, not available. Now notice actually something that's different in column 7 versus column 3 is that the stem here is actually longer. This cell is not in the German whisper line, but this cell is. And it means that I've got 2 low digits and 2 high digits in here, plus the 2 and 4, that's my break-in. Took me a while to see it. That's got to be 4, that's got to be 2, that's got to be 8. And the reason is if I made 1, 2, and 4, I'd only have 3 that's left. That's not going to work. This is not 4 or 8. It's actually, given it's a 4, it's got to be 2, 4, 8. So this is all forced. Done. Eights. May as well do some Sudoku whilst we're here. Eights. That's the only place for an 8. 8 has to be down here between these two cells, which admittedly could be this cell or this cell. I am going to just corner pencil mark it for now. Now, the remaining digits that are in here includes 1 and 3. And the 3 is actually quite interesting because a 3 down the middle would require an 8-9 pair around it, and the 8 is not available. So the 3 actually would only work as a 3 in here or a 3 in there. And if this is 3, because again 8 is not available, the neighbors would be 9. In fact, this particular one would have a double 9 next to it. Then the other low digit, if this is 3, that would be 1. If this is 3, that would be 1. So that ends up with a 1-9 pair. And then the 3, could it be 6? No, because that's a 3. If this is a high digit, that is a 3. That's a high digit. That's a low digit, and it would have to be 3, and then it would have to be 8 or 9, but I haven't got it. So that does have to be a low digit. I think I've got this right. So that's 9, that's 8, that's 4, and that's another 9, that's a 1, and then this is 6 or 7. It can't be 5 on a German whisper line, but 6 is allowed given this is a 1. And then these are 5, 6, 7, which is actually quite interesting because one of them would have to be a 5 and would have to be surrounded by 1 and 9. It's looking like it could well be this cell, given that 9 is here, but nothing stops me from having a 1 here and a 9 there, for example, so can't make that. But that 9 gave me the opposite polarity on the other side. That's got to be 3, that's 4, that's 8. And then I know that purple is high. In fact, I may as well. Orange is low, yellow. How did I do that? Must be a typo or something. So that's 6, that's 3. Why did I make that green? 5 or more away can only be 1. This is a high digit that is not 6 or 8. In fact, next to the 3, it has to be 9. Lovely. 1 in here does force this to be 2, 4, 8. So that's 2, 4, and 8. And then this can't be 8. So it is 2, 4, and 8 this way as well. Fantastic. And then these two cells are 5 and 7, which gives me the same challenge. I've got one of them has to be a 5. Can't be this one next to the 3. So that's a 5 surrounded by 1 and 9. And it has to be 1, 9 because they all see each other. It can't be like a double 1, for example. 5 in here gives me 7 in there. That's not 7. I can't type. Yeah, that's what I meant to do. Excellent. So, something that I'm thinking about before I move on from this is we played a puzzle recently. I say recently, it might have been yesterday's or sorry, I'm losing track of which one we featured. The Dutch whisper line, you see it reverses polarity here. So I actually need another 519 again to make this work. So example, if this is 1, this can't be 1, surely. Because this is definitely 1, it can't be 9. If this is 9, that would be a low digit because it's not 5. And then what am I going to put in between the 8 and the low digit? I would break the puzzle. So what did I say? That has to be 9? No, that has to be 1. This has to be a high digit that is not 8. So, and it can't be 6 because 1 and 2 are not available here, but is 7 or 9. This would have to be 3 because 1, 2, and 4 are all not available. 7 and 9 still works. 1 here gives me a 9 there. And then what I was saying in essence is that I need another 5 on this side. Because if I work with this is high, this is high, this is high, I've broken the puzzle because the next digit along is also high. So I need another 5, long story short, which can't be next to the 7. I'm going to say can't be this cell because this cannot be 1 or 9, and it would have to have a 1, 9 neighbor if it's in those 3s. If that's 5, that would have to be 1 or 9, and it's neither. So these two don't work. This cell doesn't work because, again, this is not 1 or... No, it can be 1. But to reverse the polarity, it can't be. Because essentially that would have to be the 1, this would have to be the 5, and then this would have to be a 9 to reverse the polarity, so I can make sure that these two are high. So I think no 5, no 5, no 5 because of this 1, 9. This is the only place, and this is a 1, and that's forced. And then this is a high digit, and this is a low digit that is not 3 or 4, it is 1 or 2. This is a high digit that is not an 8. It could be anything else. Not hugely helpful. 7 and 9 here still work. Now my guess is, yeah, the geometry over there is dictating the same requirement. Essentially, whichever 5 I have would be surrounded by 1 and 9. And it reverses the polarity once, but I need to reverse it a second time to get back to here. 5 is not there because of this 5. 5 can't be here because it's too close to the 5 and 6. So in essence, there is a 5 inside this box. What's wrong with this being a 5? It's too close to the 5, 6, and 7. Right, so no 5s, no 5s, no 5, because it's too close to 5 and 6. And therefore I have 1 inside this box on this line, and this is the other one. That's 5. This is 6, 7. This is 1, and this is 2. And the remaining digit in here is 6, and this is not 6. Excellent. Sorry, I'm not sure where to go from here, actually. These have to be low digits. So one of these has to be a 5 in this box, and it needs to be surrounded by 1 and 9. Now notice I can't have a 5 in here because of this 6, 7. I can't have a 5 in here because of this 4. So this is definitely a 5. That 1 gives me a 9, a 1, and I've successfully reversed it one more time. And then the rest of them can't have another 5 as we discussed. So these are oscillating between high and low digits. This is not 6 or 9. This is 7 or 8. This is a low digit that can only be a 3. 7 and 8 both work. This is a high digit that is not 6 or 8. This is 7, 9. And it looks like I've got a 7, 9 pair in the column. I'm going to take it and just assume that I haven't made a mistake. And this has to be a low digit that is not 1 or 3, 2 or 4. 4 is too close to both 6 and 7. That can only be a 2. Right, that's kind of the variance, like, done. Aren't they? This 7 or 9, this 7 or 9, this 7 or 9, and this 6 or 7, all of them work. And then in the German whisper line, all of this works. So we're really basically just down to Sudoku at this point. Which, to be fair, I have demonstrated on many occasions. I can make it look quite difficult. 1 is not here, that's a 1. 1 is here. 1 is there. And I think that's 9 ones. Yep. 2s here. In there. And I need a 2, which can only be in here. That's 9 2s. Yep. 3s. That's a 3. Because, not that 3. This is another 6 or 7. That means there's a 3 in here, which can only be there. Okay. And very nearly all the 3s. So there's a 3 in there. Then there's a 3 in there. There's a 3 X-wing that's remaining. 4s. That's another 7 or 9. 4s. Oh, tricky with the 4s. 5s. What are these? 5 and 6. Unresolved 5 and 6. This is 7 and 9. Is it 7 and 9? I think so. That's 7. That's 9. That's 7. That's not 5. That's 6. That gives me 7 in here. 6, 7. 5, 6 here, not resolved. 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9. Yeah, not resolved. This is just a known digit I should be able to write in. Is it a 4? I somehow missed earlier. And then I've got a 4 X-wing in here. Quite a few places for a 4 in there, actually. These two cells, 8 and 4 and 8. That's the 8. That's the 4. That's the 4. That's the 4. Lovely. This is a known digit, 6. This is a known digit, 7, which gives me 9 and 7. 3 and 6. Can't resolve them. Can't resolve these. What about here? 5 and 6? That can't be 6, that's 5, that's 6. That gives me 3 down here, 6 in there, 3 there, and then 7 here, which gives me 9 there. 6, hang on, 5, excuse me. It's kind of hard to see some of the digits behind the sunflowers, but, you know, you get by. 9, and if I've not made any mistakes, any other mistakes, let's be fair, 5 for the finish. Fantastic puzzle, Sotehr. I think we've solved other puzzles from Sotehr, but I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really enjoyed that. Admittedly, I think the Squid Games from Willpower kind of helped, where I'm a lot more conscious of polarity shifts on Dutch whisper lines. But regardless, fantastic puzzle. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle in the video, and I'll see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.